Most new businesses fail, not because the idea is bad, not because the market is too small, but because the person running it gives up before it ever had a chance. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're making the same mistakes that guarantee failure until it's too late. So let's talk about it. If you're thinking about starting your own business, or maybe you already have, then this video is for you. We're going to break down why so many new entrepreneurs crash and burn within the first year, the biggest traps they fall into, and most importantly, how you can avoid making the same mistakes. Stick around because some of these reasons are things you won't hear in a classroom or in a business book. Here's the hard truth. About 9 out of 10 new businesses never make it to their 5th birthday. And when you hear that, it sounds terrifying, right? Like, why even bother starting if the odds are stacked against you? But here's the thing. Most of these failures don't happen because of some unstoppable force. They happen because the entrepreneur falls into habits, mindsets, or patterns that slowly kill their momentum. Think about it like this. Starting a business is a bit like running a marathon. Most people don't collapse because of the distance. They collapse because they didn't train, they didn't hydrate, or they tried sprinting too fast in the beginning. Same with business. It's not just about having a good idea. It's about having the discipline to push through the boring, the hard, and the uncertain parts. So the real problem isn't that businesses fail. The real problem is that new entrepreneurs don't know how to build the discipline it takes to survive. Let's break down the most common reasons new entrepreneurs fail and how you can protect yourself from each one. 1. Chasing quick wins instead of long-term growth. One of the first traps new entrepreneurs fall into is chasing fast results. It's exciting in the beginning. You have this idea, you want to see it grow, and you want it to blow up overnight. But business doesn't usually work like that. Most success stories you see on social media, people showing off their profits or their lifestyle, they don't show the years of boring grind that came before that. The entrepreneurs who fail are the ones who keep jumping from one idea to the next. They start one project, don't see instant results, get frustrated, and then switch to something else. That constant chasing means they never give one thing enough time to grow. How to avoid it? Discipline is the key here. You need to set realistic expectations. If you commit to a business, give it time. Think in years, not weeks. Create small milestones that you can actually hit so you feel progress along the way, but always keep the bigger picture in mind. 2. Overthinking and never starting. On the flip side, some entrepreneurs fail before they even begin. They get stuck in planning mode. They want the perfect logo, the perfect website, the perfect strategy. But here's the reality. There is no perfect start. The market will change, your idea will change, and your plans will change. The danger here is wasting months, sometimes even years, preparing for something you never launch. And then, when you finally put it out there, the world doesn't react the way you expected, and you have to start over anyway. How to avoid it? Discipline means starting before you feel ready. It means putting something imperfect out there and improving as you go. Action beats perfection. If you can discipline yourself to launch faster and learn from feedback, you're already ahead of most people. 3. Underestimating how much work it takes. This one is huge. People imagine starting a business as freedom. No boss, no 9 to 5, work whenever you want. But the truth? In the beginning, you'll probably work more hours than you ever did at a job. And a lot of that work isn't glamorous. It's sending emails, solving problems, fixing mistakes, handling unhappy customers. Many new entrepreneurs underestimate just how much persistence and discipline it takes to keep going when things aren't exciting. How to avoid it? Expect it to be hard. Write it down somewhere. This will take more effort than I think. Then build habits that keep you consistent. Set working hours for yourself. Stick to routines. Discipline here isn't about working 20 hours a day. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it. 4. Ignoring money management. Another silent killer is money. Some entrepreneurs overspend right away on fancy branding, expensive offices, or tools they don't really need. Others don't track their cash flow and suddenly realize they've run out of money to operate. The problem is that money feels like an endless resource when you first start, especially if you saved up or raised funds. But if you don't have the discipline to manage it, you'll burn through it faster than you think. How to avoid it? Discipline in money means knowing exactly what's coming in and what's going out. Keep expenses lean in the beginning. Focus on what directly brings value to your business. Every dollar you spend should have a purpose. Remember, cash flow is oxygen for your business. Without it, you can't breathe. 5. Not asking for help. Many new entrepreneurs try to do everything themselves. They think asking for help is weakness, or they don't want to spend money on guidance. But going alone often means wasting time on mistakes that someone else could have warned you about. How to avoid it. Discipline here is about checking your ego. Find mentors. Join communities of entrepreneurs. Ask questions. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Learn from people who already made the mistakes you're trying to avoid. 6. Quitting too early. This might be the #1 reason people fail. They quit before the results come in. The first year feels slow, uncertain, and sometimes hopeless. And in that storm of doubt, people convince themselves that maybe they're not cut out for it, maybe it's too risky, maybe they should just go back to something safer. But here's the truth. Almost every successful entrepreneur has felt like quitting. The only difference is they didn't. How to avoid it? Discipline means building resilience. Set a minimum timeline for yourself before you even start. Say to yourself, I'm going to give this at least 2 years of consistent effort before I decide if it's working. That way, when doubts hit, you know it's part of the process, not a sign to give up. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. Success in business isn't about being the smartest or even about having the best idea. It's about discipline. The discipline to keep showing up when nobody's watching. The discipline to do boring tasks when you'd rather be relaxing. The discipline to face failure and keep going anyway. If you understand that, you already have an advantage over most new entrepreneurs because ideas are cheap. Discipline is rare. And that's why the ones who stick with it, who learn, who keep moving forward are the ones who eventually win. So let's wrap this up. Why do new entrepreneurs fail? They chase fast results, they overthink, they underestimate the work, they mismanage money, they refuse help, and they quit too early. But all of those problems come down to one thing: lack of discipline. If you can build the discipline to stay focused, take action, manage your money, and keep going even when things get tough, you massively increase your chances of success. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe.